Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Tragicast. This is the Tragic Art Weekly podcast, where we talk about mostly nerdy things in video games. This is your host, Seraph, and I'm co-hosted by Kevin. If you see our clan tag in your game, don't back out, because you'll probably win. Okay. How you doing, Kevin?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So what did you do this week? Anything that I don't know about outside of... some more GTA that we did.
Yeah, GTA, a little bit of Storybook Brawl. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I fired anything else up.
Yeah, I've been pretty boring myself in that front. The only exception is I did complete Yakuza 4. I've platted it, so it's on to Yakuza 5.
Nice.
Yep. However, my poor performance that we'll talk about later in the tournament has kind of spurred me to just kind of play only Storybook Brawl for this next upcoming tournament, but we will save that talk for a little bit later. Alright, so yeah, let's jump into new releases and see if there's anything worth, for us at least, to talk about. So we have Away, the Survival Series. This is a PlayStation 5 PC game. Chernobylite. I think Sam's excited about this game, but I don't really care. Ghost Runner, Xbox and PlayStation 5. In Sound Mind, looks like all. Kiwi, PlayStation. Lemnis Gate, looks like all. Neo, The World Ends With You. This got to be a port for PC. New World, PC, finally coming out. I have no interest in this one, but I don't know. I know we were watching people play it and blowing up video cards, but I don't think our group will probably end up playing this, unless you know.
To be honest, I didn't even watch any gameplay of it. So
yeah,
my brother did play the beta, so he would be the one to ask about it. But
all right, yeah. Well, it's officially released. Maybe we'll watch it, but I highly doubt this will be the. I still feel like if there's going to be an RPG that unites, the group again, it's going to be Final Fantasy.
Right, which that comes out in like 2 months, a month. Yeah, month and a half.
I could see that. We'll find out. Steel Assault, which is Switch PC. Insurgency Sandstorm, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. That's kind of weird. Old gen. I wonder if that's just got pushed back like forever. I know nothing about it though, and I don't care. All right, Aeon Drive, all. Astria Ascending, all. Darksiders 3. There's got to be a port, right? Because there was 3 total to Switch. Yeah.
There's actually more than 3 now. So
is there a 4th?
Yeah, there's Genesis.
I didn't know that. I've been told to play the series like it's good. I just never.
Yeah, we can talk about it after you get done. I have all 3 of them. So.
All right, cool. We got eFootball 2020, Hot Wheels Unleashed, for all, Imposter Factory PC, Rogue Lords PC, The Last Friend Switch and PC, Unsighted, all old gen though, besides Switch, FIFA 22, all, and Phoenix Point. I think the big release is FIFA 22, but again, it's whatever. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about Darksiders then. All right, what, you're the god of death or the rider of death on the 4 horsemen? Or war?
No. So no.
Okay.
It is Darksiders. Each of the games you play a different horseman.
Oh, that makes sense.
So the first one you are playing War.
That's right.
This one is Wrath, I believe, which is not a traditional horseman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wrath takes the place of Pestilence or something. I can't remember exactly. But
not important.
Have you played the old God of War games?
Yep, I've played all of them.
All right, so it's basically just a rehash of those. Same combat, same
hack and slash.
Hack and slash. It's got the same where you kill people and collect souls type things. Then you can upgrade your weapons and things like that.
All right, I'm already sold.
It's very puzzle intensive. So
okay,
you've got to
I'm
solve
no longer...
puzzles. Well, I mean, you remember the old God of War had puzzles, so...
So, not really puzzles, but kind of puzzles?
Yeah, it's like, you've got to move
This column.
Yeah, to here, and just that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
I do think the camera is a lot more free than the God of War's were, because I think God of War's camera was like locked in this like 45-degree camera that was just terrible.
Yeah, at least the first 2 games.
Yeah, so I do think these are better. I have played the first 2. I own the third one, have not played it.
Well, now you can play on Switch.
Yeah, well, I already own it on the PlayStation, so why would I? But I've heard this one has some like Souls-like elements to it, though I'm not sure.
Oh, man, that's definitely seems interesting. It does seem like the game would be up my alley.
Yeah, and they're pretty good. And just if you're curious, the first one, War, is voiced by Liam O'Brien.
All right, now I definitely have to give a game a shot. Oh man, I love Liam.
Yeah. Yeah, I started playing that, and I started playing it after I started Critical Role. I was like,
wait a minute, I know this voice.
It's completely obvious.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Yeah, I like that because I've never really paid much attention to voice actors, and then you start watching Critical Role, and then you start going back and playing games, and you pick up on, okay, you just start picking them out. Like,
oh, I know this voice.
Yeah, like Jedi Fallen Order. Travis plays your Jedi Master.
Yeah.
So
you just start hearing voices. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
If you were more into anime, you do that a lot with voice actors and Japanese voice actors. Like I'll hear somebody like go yada yada, and I go like, I know that voice actor.
Yeah, I do that some, not because I watch anime, it's because I've watched Fairy Tail's like the only anime I watch, and my brother watches like everything, and I'll hear voice actors.
Yeah.
The English ones, because he watches pretty much just Funimation stuff. So
it hurts, but I love your brother, so I'll let it go.
Yeah, so I'll pick up the anime or the Fairy Tail voice actors everywhere.
And everyone knows, wow! Oh man, that's awesome though. So yeah, I'll have to give it a shot. Alright, we also had a Nintendo Direct, and I'm not a huge like Nintendo person outside of like Zelda. And there was no Zelda news, so let's move on.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you too. I do like my Switch because I can like if I go on vacation or somewhere, it's easy to take with you.
Yep.
And play stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not a huge Nintendo person either. I'm not even a big Zelda person. I think we've discussed this before.
Yeah. Yep. Which is sad in some way. I'll have to convert you eventually, but
yeah, there are some games that are nice to pick up on there, just because you can take them with you.
Yeah, that, and they're getting a lot of port love from other, games, and being able to have them handheld, is just awesome. So we'll break down the Nintendo Direct very quickly because neither of us are huge fans, and honestly, there's literally podcast directed just to Nintendo. But I think Disco Elysium is supposed to be really good. I gotta be real with you though, I'm gonna play on the PlayStation before I boot it up on the Switch. This was funny too, the Chocobo GP, which is the Final Fantasy kart racer that you found.
Yeah.
And then you brought up a good point, because Final Fantasy has a relationship with Sony, and it's very tight now. They used to have one with Nintendo back in the day for like the very first 5 Final Fantasies, but ever since 7, it's kind of been, maybe even 6, I'm not sure, but ever since 7, it's really been just Sony.
Yeah. I mean, even Final Fantasy 14, which is the online one, is built for PC, but they said, yeah, we're going to give this to PlayStation 2.
Yeah, and it's the only one of the new gen consoles, right, that you can play.
Yep, and they've already put out I think they've already started on a PS5 version. It's already been through beta.
Oh wow,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so there is that Sony connection that's really big for them.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't have to buy the game twice, or do you? I forget. Like, if you bought the game, like, because I have them now for both. I just don't remember if I bought them twice.
Yeah, I think you.
I don't remember.
So you don't have to buy the game, I don't think, because the game now is free.
Gotcha.
The game and the first expansion are free, but every expansion you have to buy on both places. So if you're playing on PC and PlayStation, you have to buy in both places.
All right.
But I do think the game and the first expansion are now free for everybody, so you don't have to buy that.
Oh, good.
So yeah, if for some reason we did convince Ryan or Sam or somebody to play with us, they should be able to pick up the game and the first expansion for free on either the PlayStation or the PC, whatever their version of choice is.
Yeah, and since they have PlayStation Plus, they don't have to pay for anything else.
Well, they would have to pay for their subscription.
Their sub.
Oh, well, no, so you can play up through the first two expansion without a subscription.
Yeah, I thought so. I remember reading that as one of the best trial, like, starters or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's up to level 60 without a subscription now. Which doesn't help me because I'm like level 70 on everything.
I think I got close, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 58. I'm not 60, or I'm past 60. I can't remember.
You're past 60 because you finished the first expansion.
That's right. I'm in Heavensward.
Yeah. Well, Heavensward's the first one. You finished.
Oh.
You either finished it or got right to the end of it. So
either way, I just remember there was a duty that sucked that you didn't really feel like doing at that time, and I don't like to do solo, and then we just stopped playing.
Yeah, that was probably the last one for Heavensward, so you may have one more left. So you may get 45 minutes of free play before you've got to start paying a subscription.
Darn. I gotta be real with you, I'd probably play on the PC, and
oh yeah, I would play on the
anyway.
PC too.
So, having done both.
But yeah, you can play on the PlayStation, and I mean it's crossplay too. So
you can even play with other people.
Yep. My brother used to play on PlayStation. I played on PC. I will say, as a tank main, tanking is awful on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I played on the PlayStation for a bit, and I just was like, as cool as this is, and they did a great job. An MMO to me has to be played. I need to be able to have my keyboard and my macros and my with my mouse.
I will say the PlayStation is really good for like crafting and gathering.
Yeah.
So you can, like, if you have a setup like I do, I have two TVs set up, one on top of the other.
Yep.
And so I could throw something on the TV to watch on one of them, and then like do crafting and gathering on the other, which is just mindless.
Yep.
Moving.
Just watch something good.
Yeah, that's what I used to do on the PlayStation, but I don't have the expansions on there, so I'm not gonna spend it.
Yeah, and double buy.
Yeah. I did talk to somebody one time though that their kid really wanted to play, and so they taught them to do gathering and then left them there for like 2 hours.
That's an efficient use of time for everybody. All right. This is the game. You click on the rock. All right. Have fun.
No, go to this rock. Just go in a circle.
All right, you got this.
Oh, man.
This all stems from Chocobo GP, a game that probably I doubt I'll pick up, but you never know. If I can be Zell or like Cloud, and I need a kart racer, and then we got Kirby, which is probably the big announcement, and then Animal Crossing, which is funny. We were talking about in the pre-show how both of us played, I think, our first Animal Crossing with New Horizons, and like we played it for like 2 weeks and it was like, all right, this is cool, and then we just stopped. So I doubt either of us are going to come back to this DLC.
Yeah, unless they like have some crazy crossover that I just need to play, like Star Wars or something like that.
I want to see the Star Wars crossover. Yeah, then you'll play. And then people who have Mario Golf Super Rush have stuff to look forward to. And this was funny because when you saw this, and then you made it, brought it to my attention. I was like, oh man, I don't remember this teaser trailer. I thought it was only coming for PlayStation 5, and you're like, yeah, it is. This is a port.
Yeah, which is not entirely surprising. This port is probably really easy, considering they've already ported it to mobile. So just porting it to Switch is probably not that big of a port.
Yep. So there's don't be one of those people who buy this thinking that you're getting the remake. And also for people who are below the age of, I would say, 25, and you've never played this game before, it's not friendly in terms of you're used to recent gaming. Just throwing it out there. We didn't do any Dying Light 2 or Dying Light or whatever. I think there was one more other thing. No. Oh yeah, Shadowrun Trilogy. This is a great game. If you like the cyberpunk aesthetic, you definitely should give this a shot. It's a tactical RPG. It's really good. And Castlevania games are still coming out. Like, I used to play... I played it in the SNES, and then I just was like, okay, cool, got it. And then I was just done. And then the other one, Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is pretty cool. Atlas does my Persona series. I've never played any of the Shin Megami Tenseis, so I'm gonna wait to see if 5's actually an okay one to jump in. And then I'll let you know. And then Rune Factory 5 is something that me and Brittany introduced me to. And it's actually, if you've never played it, the Rune Factory series itself is a excellent mix of, like, crafting and an RPG, like, with the whole, like... I'm trying to think. It's not really Minecraft type. It's, like, more Animal Crossing-esque, right? But RPG crafting. You can, like, build your own RPG weaponry. Like, and you can date people if you wanted to, like, and get married, and, like, it does a little bit of everything. And it was... Rune Factory 4 was really good. I liked it a lot, and I thought I'd hate it. So, I probably will be playing this one. So. And then the big...
March.
What's up?
Got a long wait. March.
Yeah, well, this is actually perfect, because it's right before Brittany's birthday. Swish! And then the big announcement, and probably the last thing we'll talk about for Splatoon 3 for people that care about Splatoon. I'm not one of them. I think Brittany likes Splatoon. I don't know if you played it.
I've played Splatoon 2, but the controls on it are so, like, bad. Bad is a good word.
If I'm going to play a shooter, I'm going to play my PlayStation.
Exactly.
How does Overwatch feel on the Switch?
I have a Switch Pro controller, and
so you're cheating.
Yes, I loved playing Overwatch on the Switch because I was just rolling people. I had like 6 straight games where I had 5 gold medals as Zenyatta.
Jesus, you got banned for cheating, even though you weren't cheating. So. Yeah. The highlight for me, though, of the Nintendo Direct, and the reason that got me put on there is Brittany found out that they're doing a Mario movie, and she started listing off all these different names of people that are going to be in it, for like Seth Rogen and like Jack Black, and I'm just like, oh, didn't they learn their lesson from the original Mario movie live action with Johnny? Like, did you ever see? God, was it? Yeah, this monstrosity of a movie.
I don't think I've ever watched it. I do know of it.
And I love... this was one of those movies that were so bad it was good. I don't know. It's like, if you liked watching horrible B movies, like, this would be up your alley. So, like... that was my first thought, and then she told me, like, no, these are, they're going to do it animated. They're just having people do voice acting, and now I'm actually upset because I was kind of looking forward to another train wreck. Yeah. So how do you feel about the movie?
Um,
Do you care?
Personally, I'm not a big Mario fan.
Yep.
Mario just doesn't do anything for me. So, I mean, overall, this is probably a pass for me.
Gotcha. I still don't understand though why you would choose like famous actors over voice actors. Is it just the pull to get more people to watch it? Because I know Jack Black over Liam O'Brien.
Probably. Though I'm not sure.
Keegan
So, yeah, here's my thinking on it.
Mm.
They're going to throw out a Mario movie. It doesn't matter who they have voice act it. You're going to get your core Mario audience.
Sure.
So I imagine the ploy to get big names attached to it is to try to pull in people who wouldn't normally see a Mario movie.
Gotcha. So people are like, oh, Key is in this movie, so, and he's funny, and I like him, so I'll go see this movie.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't think no matter who they choose, you're going to get rid of the core Mario base. Those people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
If me and you were the voice actors.
Which they really shouldn't, especially if I was the voice actor. As anyone who's listening to this podcast knows. But yeah, that's probably it. It's just, it's a lot of money to ultimately, I feel, not really enhance quality, but maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see. Alright. Now I get to talk about something that simultaneously, I can't speak. That both makes me happy and sad. And that is the September qualifier tournament. So we'll talk first about my performance and what the tournament was like. I'm not going to go deep into it. It was a really well done tournament. Good Luck Games and the tournament organizers did an excellent job of making it seamless and also enjoyable to play in and not complicated. So excellently run tournament. I have a little bit of nitpick, but it's really not anybody's fault. It's just variance and stuff like that. So I found out two things. I've been in tournaments before and different sporting events, but feeling nervous in a mentally challenge. I've never really done tournaments where I have to. Hey, the main point is to think really hard and critically, right? Mine's been track, football, basketball, stuff where once your adrenaline is soaring, you bring yourself down, but then you get to utilize this nervous tension, right, in action. Not being able to all right, I have all this energy built up and tension and thinking, and I'm sitting in a chair was the weirdest feeling ever. I don't know if you can relate.
Probably not, because my experience is opposite of what yours is. So in high school, I played golf, which is 95% mental.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the other thing I did was FBLA, which, if you don't know, is business type things.
Yep.
And they have competitions and stuff in that, which are all mental. And that's what I did in high school. So
I gotcha. So if you were to go in this tournament, you would be able to handle your nerves perfectly. You've already know how to kind of release that energy in a way that is useful, or at least handle it, because I don't know if there's a way to utilize it.
Yeah, probably not. It's just more dismissing it than anything.
And that makes sense to me, because in football, right, I want to use that adrenaline rush, right, to take that hit and not cry.
Yeah, but yeah, and mentally you want to get rid of it, because you want to put yourself in a position where you're in kind of the same position that you were that got you there.
Yes.
You want to be that relaxed position, the clear thinking. You don't want to be making nervous decisions and this type of thing.
Yeah. and it's funny that you mentioned that, and because I didn't have a long tournament recap, so this will be pretty short after that. So we had, how it worked was you had your own Discord channel lobby, and they made a lobby for each of the pods. And then they would tell you what pod you were in, like, and they named them all cute things like Pan or, from the heroes, right? Morte. And then you would join your lobby, and then there would be a lobby leader who would be responsible for making the lobby name whatever the tournament organizer says it's supposed to be. So by first game, I'm ready. I join the lobby. I see somebody supposed to head up the name. The guy goes, all right, when everyone's here, thumbs up and check in and use code Morte1, right, to create the lobby. Guy creates the lobby, we all join, but then the guy who created the lobby is not able to get into the player select hero screen. Everyone else can. I've got Loki locked. I feel pretty good. Like, I got a lot of rep under Loki. I'm like, okay. So he tries to do it again. And we have to re-roll heroes. My second hero is Pants, which, again, like, is probably not the best hero you want to see, but I can do Pants well enough, even when top 300 people, to probably at least get top 4. So I feel okay. He still can't get in. So we have somebody else try to make the lobby. And then I get a Vela, and I'm like, well, yeah, this is really good. I can't complain. And he still can't get in, even when somebody else makes the lobby. So he has to restart his computer. Restarting the computer works, and my trophy heroes are all garbage with the exception of Zelua, which, by the way, I even had to purchase. Like, the other two, I don't even... It was like Fates and... That's just somebody that I didn't want to play, right? Like, that's just really bad. Zelua is definitely the best option of the choices that were given, if I could make it and start utilizing, his ability. Honestly, like, Trophy... I think of him and Trophy Hunter as the same type of hero, right? Like, if you can make it to the end game with relatively healthy, you're going to take this kind of strong advantage that you have with your character's ability, and you're going to win. That did not happen. I finished 7th. So the first round finished 7th was a little disheartening. Also, pivotally, we had a bot in our lobby, and I made the mistake of trying to high roll the bot with an XP spell, and the bot beat me. And the only reason I did that was because I was like, well, the bot's at like 28 life. I'm at 35. It's lost every battle. Like, it's probably really weak. All right, I'm going to try, and I tried to be too cute, and I paid for it. So, yeah, and then from there, the second game, I got 3rd with, God. I think it was Loki. Yeah, it was Loki. And I could have, I played that game pretty well, and then I finished 7th in the next game with Skip, and I was just like, all right, well... I did the math. My tournament was over. Like, there was no way I was going to top 32, and you get nothing for placement. So I was like, I'm going to utilize my time and do something else. So I finished 223rd out of 245 people. So, and these are all people that obviously quit, right?
Well, there was a couple in there that
didn't.
Pretty... Yeah, scroll back down, I think. Yeah, well, there's one. 226, you beat a guy that played all 5 games.
Yeah, and if you take the fact that I only played the first 3, right? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Some excellent... Page 404 was in my flight. I never played against them. Yuck was also in my flight. I never played against them. You saw a streamer that I was playing against, which was pretty funny in my last game.
Yep.
So yeah, but overall, tournament was fun. I have a renewed drive to do a lot better this time, and I kind of have a better idea of what it's like and what I need to do. So I feel pretty comfortable. And luckily for me, I'm already at the 4K, so I've done what I need to do for this month. Now I want to circle back to you. Well, first, Quay, excellent job on just destroying that tournament.
I was like, I didn't watch any of the finals because we had DND and whatnot. Yeah. And then you pull this page up and I see Quay just win both games. Just be like, yeah, it's over. It's like,
Oh, so you didn't watch these games? Oh my
No.
god. So Quay wins the lobby. I can't remember. He wasn't featured. So for the first game, and how this worked was the first person to 10 points was live to win, and once had 10 points, you had to finish first, and then you would win. And it used the same point structures that everything else did. So if you finished first in the first lobby, you were the only person that was qualified to win on the next game, right? So Professor Cornucopia, they finished second. As long as they finished, not eighth, because eighth would only give them 1 point, and they would add 9. They would have been live if this went to a round 3. However, Quay decides, oh, that's cute. I'm just gonna win both games and crush this tournament. His second game was Skip, and it was a great choice, right? Because Skip is one of those great, ideal. Hey, I'm either first or last.
Yeah, I mean, if you're live, you don't care about anything but first.
Yeah, so I love the greed choice. It's not really greed, right? Quay is really good. So yeah, they just crushed it. They really did. And they high rolled. They had an interesting choice where they were on 5, right? And they bought a Baba Yaga, and they were doing adventure things on top of that and not losing, right? So they bought a Baba Yaga, and they true love kissed that into a Green Knight. And then they were just like, they stayed really disciplined. Like, they were first to 6. They had a lot of life. And they're like, no, I want to do Good Boy. I could also think he had Robin Woods eventually at one point. He was either, in my estimations, that or trees, right? Like, if I get Ashwood Elms, I'll do that. But yeah, he got Good Boy, Magic Sword, and then just crushed. So yeah, that was excellent. Now, speaking of tournament coverage, though, so how close are you, or the next tournament, how close are you to 4K?
I am at like 3660 right now. I keep bouncing back and forth, right around 3700.
That happened to me with 38.
Yeah. So, I'll play some over the next few days and see if I can get there.
Yeah, you've got time. You got 4 days. It's a work week, though, which is the thing that sucks.
Yeah, but I have moved to automation, so...
So automate Storybook Brawl.
Oh, no, I don't have to do any automations. I'm just running the scripts and making sure they don't fail. So as long as they're not failing, I can do other things while they're running.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think about that, yeah. I'm like, play Storybook Brawl. Share your screen. Not that I'd help you, I would just record it.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try, but if I don't make it, it's not going to be the end of the world for me.
Yeah.
I am curious how they're going to do reset this time. Are they just going to reset Mythic people? Or are they going to reset Legend too?
Yeah, my guess would be everybody's back down to 3K.
That would make sense too.
Yeah, I think everybody over 3K is just going to get reset back down to 3K. Unless they finally have decided on a reward structure. Because I know that's what they were kind of waiting for, is being like, hey, if you made it to Night, you'll get Dust, right? And then they'll bump you down. Because that's what like Magic and a lot of other games that use a ranking system do. Is saying, okay, the season's over, the month's over, you finished Diamond, great. Here you go, here's your free cards and some dust, and then you're all right. You're not Diamond anymore. You're Silver, right?
Yeah, I know. We both played some the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and it had like Bronze 1, 2, and 3, and then Silver 1, 2, and 3, and at the end of the season, it would drop you to the beginning of whatever tier you were on. So if you were Bronze 3, it would drop you to Bronze 1.
Yep.
And if you were Gold 2, it would drop you to Gold 1.
Yeah, it was a very forgiving system. It made it very easy, even though I was never able to make it to, what do they call it? What was their legend?
It was Master of Games or something like
King of Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never made it to King of Games, but I came very close. I was like on the one before it. But it made it easier to climb because of that, right? Because I didn't have to go back down to like.
Yeah, and if you didn't play a season, then it would drop you another tier.
Yeah,
so,
full tier.
I kind of like that.
I like that too because there's no point. All right, anybody who's made it to Mythic, Legend, whatever, right? The only thing that's stopping you from doing it again is time. And there's going to be some people that just don't have the time, but they clearly have the skill. So why would you?
Right.
Why would you punish those people?
Agreed. But I do think you also have to. There's a balance to be found here because if Mythic is going to be your cutoff for tournaments from now on, you're going to do nothing but grow that tournament size if you don't drop them back to Legend.
Oh yeah, no, I guess I should have rephrased. I think everyone should be down to 3K. I think that should happen every month.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that since I got to Mythic once, I don't have to try to get it again, right? Because I'll tell you right now, and anybody in Royal and above can attest, these lobbies aren't easy. Like, I don't roll, even when I'm early 3K, I don't roll every game. Like, sure, some games are in the earlier stages are, like, my games now are stupidly hard.
Yeah, I mean, I played a game earlier today where I thought I was high rolling as Sadrak. I had an assassin that was like 40-40. I come in 7th.
Yeah. Like, everybody in our rank knows what they're doing. That's just really all it comes down to. There is no, like, people that are making mistakes. And I'm not saying that, obviously, that this game is not skill-based, because it is. But when you are this good at the game, variance does take a lot more of effect. And as a player, you should never blame variance, right? Because that doesn't really make you a better player. But you do have to recognize it. Like, if you're Drac in this scenario, right, and you get 3 Shadow Assassins before Shop 4, yeah, you're probably going to win.
Right.
Same thing with getting Adventurer and able to actually proc it and race the 6 at a high life total.
Like I did yesterday twice.
Yeah, like your 2 games that you had in Discord, I'll bring up our Discord for anybody who's watching. Because it's just, this is a high lobby. This isn't Royal. Like, and you got to do both of these things, and both of those things are busted and absurd.
Yeah, that one was really good. This one was just
gross,
disgusting.
Mirror.
I felt filthy on this one.
I had to take a shower after this one.
And it's not even as good as it could be because I'm running an Evo there that's getting no buff.
It doesn't need to though. God. Yeah, honestly, this would have been better with even if you could find a sure shot. You said you had a Robinwood though locked for the last one.
Yeah, Robinwood talking about shop that I was going to replace it with.
God.
Yeah, I don't think I had anything else on my bench.
Yeah, that was good.
I think I had sold to get the good boy triple or second triple or something like triple,
that. Yeah, either way.
So I didn't have anything to replace it. And yeah, I was holding it in case I hit the Bell's influence.
Yeah, of course.
Make it good, and then it's really good.
Fine. Yeah. What I find hilarious about this, though, is, like, I never quit. I'm notoriously known for being, like, I'm at 1 life. Unless we're in a custom game, right? If we're in a custom game, I don't care. But, like, on the ladder, I'll never quit. Even if I know that I have close to 0%. If I saw this, I might just alt F4 and just...
Yeah, and the funny thing is you would have had the chance because when we got to finals, we both had 30 life. So I had to beat him like 3 times with that.
Because you see this and you're like, well, what am I gonna do? Right? Or not this. Well, I mean, this is, the first one was gross too, but what am I supposed to do? I have Medusa, great. I let's say in the best case scenario, I Medusa your 2047, right? Alright, cool, my turn. My 32-6 attacks now. Still spawns another good boy that then buffs everything else. It's still gross. In itself.
Yeah, that second good boy comes back at what?
64-12? that then gets thrown on everything else.
Everything else at 128, 24.
Like, I can't. You would have to what? First row Medusa and Shrivel. You could do Shrivel or Pigomorph, and you would have to.
Yeah.
I have to hit both of these options.
Yeah. The other option is Harvest Moon.
Yeah, Harvest
With
Moon,
a-
princess background Medusa. If you're not
mermaid.
Drac.
Yeah, mermaid. Yeah. That's the only. Or you could Medusa Pigomorph and get lucky, but I mean,
The odds are still stupid.
and you've got to do that probably 3
3
to 4
times.
times to beat me.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, just to highlight the fact that I feel like everybody who's made it to Legend can make it to Mythic, given time plus, whatever the ratio is. And I've all the card games I've played in, I've always finished fairly high. And sometimes I don't make it to the end rank, but I've always felt like, well, if I had 10 more hours to play, I'd get there. And it's the same thing here. So, but yeah, I hope you make it. I would love to have a person that is also shooting for something, right? Because then it makes, hey, let's test. Let's go look at it here. Let's do this scrim stuff. But like you said, it won't be the end of the world. I don't think you care as much as I do. But that was a lot of fun, and October is looking fun too. So, and let's move into the last D&D section. You brought to my attention that we don't know yet, but there's a big Campaign 3 announcement for Critical Role that is happening this Thursday. Do you have any insider news on that, or is it just like, hey?
They're having one of their State of the Role shows that they do.
Gotcha.
And part of the thing was that they would announce or there would be a Campaign 3 announcement, which I am assuming will be the start date. Whether or not we get any character information, that'll be unknown. I did see someone mention something on Twitter. It's not going to happen, but this would have been a great idea.
And it begins right now, and then no.
No, they were saying that they should do character creation like a draft.
Oh,
so like
wow.
they draw draft positions, and then they draft races, draft classes, background, stuff like that.
That would be actually really cool. That would be really cool.
That would have been really interesting. That would have been really something cool to watch. Just to like see somebody be like, I'm gonna take the elf, and everybody else be like, no,
I want the elf. Fine, I'll be a tiefling. Yeah, that would be funny. That, and you get to like choose, all right, you get to go first pick on race, right? But then you go last pick
on class.
Like, yeah. So what's more important to you, right?
Yep.
Can't you also in most drafts even like give up a slot for another like? It's like, we don't want first pick. We'll take this pick. I can't remember. I'm making stuff up.
Yeah. Normally you would have to trade with somebody.
That's
who wants
what it is.
Pick.
Like you'd be like, hey, if you want this pick, I'll trade you this person. Gotcha.
They would have to add some more stuff in there though, like drafting, because if it was just classes and races, you wouldn't be able to trade much there. But
that actually would be pretty funny. That, and they can use what is my D&D character? That's what it is. Who the fuck's my D? I'm going to be a fucking stoic half-elf rogue from a small-town tavern who has an irrational fear of cats. How about this one? Gentle Dragonborn Paladin from the Sealed City who has a debilitating fear of wide-open spaces. Cunning Human Paladin from a fake leper colony hiding a secret who was petrified for over 200 years. Wow. So yeah, they could use that for background creators, and then you have to choose one.
Just roll up 6 or 7 of them, and Just post them on a board.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be funny. So hopefully we'll have more to announce about that. So for as far as Critical Role goes, we'll at least keep our eyes out and see what cool D&D role playing sessions we have. And ours, we finished up session 2. And we're finally getting to the first dungeon.
Yep. I am going to point out that I think in these first two sessions, we have done more RP than we did in 2 years of my campaign.
True. And I don't know if that's because our players are now growing, right? Like, this was some people's first campaign.
Right. I think what it is largely is in my campaign, like you said, it was their first one, and so they picked characters who, I mean, Chris picked James, and he's like, I don't have a background for James. It's like, so just give him amnesia. It's really hard to roleplay when you've got a character who doesn't have a personality.
Yeah.
Or like a history at all.
Yeah, that and all you can get into traps of all the generic characters, right? Like, yeah. So what story are you making for yourself then?
Yeah.
What's your motivation?
And so, and it was even the thing where I had a backstory out for him, and I tried to like reveal it through dreams and stuff like that, and he just wouldn't accept them.
Yeah.
So he never was able to take that and run with it. But I do think this time everyone created characters that have these backstories and these personalities that they can use for roleplay.
Yeah, you're right, and everybody's a little bit more invested in their character. Like, I would say I get a lot of DMs from other players about, oh, can I do this, or that, or I want my character to do this, and this. And I don't know if you were getting that when you were playing, but
Chris would send me stuff when he'd level up, asking if he could. More so asking about if he multi-classed and took this, how would that work, and things like that. But no, it wasn't. I didn't get like character questions because, like I said, James didn't have a backstory, so there was nothing.
Yeah, you don't get any, Actually, but if I were James, I would. I'd be like, hey, so if I'm looking for home, I mean, obviously don't tell me as the character, right? But where is home, right? Like, don't tell my character, but you tell me, right?
Yeah, and then, like, Sam's character, I wrote the backstory for.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And then there was never any role play around that just because none of the other characters ever asked her about it. So.
Yeah, at that point, Zareth was so accepting of the clusterfuck that was his group that he realized that asking questions, that and his own motivation was, if I ask you a question, you get to generally ask me a question. And I'm wanted throughout.
Yeah.
And I'm being hunted and persecuted. The less questions, the better. But yeah, that, and this wasn't a traditional Zareth for me, so he's harder for me to play. But yeah, I should have probably done a better job as the senior role player, I guess, of forcing those interactions. But we live and we learn.
Yeah, now everyone has 2 years under their belt, so no excuses anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The role playing has been great. It's great to have Maury back in. Maury was, when he was playing the first campaign, I think was definitely down to role play a lot more often than our group was, right? I remember him trying to interject a lot of that stuff. And now he gets to do it with a group that's reciprocating, right?
Right.
And that's no fault of yours having run it. Now you get to roleplay with this ragtag, and it's funny is I've realized what I like about DMing So right now, I hold all the key pieces of information, right? Like I know everyone's motives generally, right? All the player characters. I know my NPC's motives, and then I get to be like, oh man, what's gonna happen when this guy finds out about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's my NPC. What's my NPC gonna do when they find out that you know, Emmy is from a noble from an unwanted land, right? Are they gonna try to extradite her? And then I think about it, right? Like, you know, right? And then I also thinking right now, and I'll let you in on this, and I'm giving it a little time. It's actually on my encounter table that I was telling you about. Are your people hunting for you? It makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Like you're a noble who's just gone up, took your family's armor and sword, and left. And
Yep.
obviously, your father's not—he's going to take responsibility, right? And I imagine as a noble person, be like, no, yes, I allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
It's not stolen, is what probably the only thing he'll say, right?
Yeah. There's that, and you could write that way. I just kind of left it up to you to do their
Well, I could,
decisions.
yeah,
But originally, when I had thought about it, I had considered writing in a thing where he was going to be like, "Here's the stuff. Go, but know that based on my position, I will have to send someone to find you."
yeah,
Uh,
and
but I decided not to put that in. I just kind of left it up to you.
no, I was already leaning towards that angle where eventually you're being hunted on the continent, but no one knows where you are, right?
Yeah.
So this is a double-edged sword. As you get more famous, and people start talking about you, because people are already talking about you. It's like, hey, have you heard this foreigner just went to Montspire, right? But it's just staying formulated in the town,
Yeah.
right? But oh, hey, as you get more famous, that's gonna even reach the continent. It's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah.
I have toyed with making things a little bit darker on you, but I don't want to do it because Emmy is such a nice character. So I'll tell you what one of my was that because your father made this decision, I was thinking about him having to commit seppuku. And I was just like, no, I'm not gonna change Emmy to like Batman. All right, like that, and I don't want a strong sense for your character to leave. Is really right, because if that were to happen, Emmy, there could be a stance for Emmy to be like, well, I need to go back home, right? Like I need to honor my father, at least to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't want to. Well, I don't want that to happen. So I think we're just gonna hunt.
Yeah, and like I know when were talking about creating characters, and like I had pitched the idea for that Sam could be her twin sister. One of the ideas I had for that was that she didn't leave with Emmy, that she was the one sent to hunt her down and found her, but couldn't drag her back, so she just kind of tagged along. But she decided not to go that direction.
Yeah, instead she's being the potential suitor from a distance, and I love how awkward Kay is.
Yeah.
It's like Emmy has no clue that there might even be a vague spark of interest in there.
Yeah.
And she never will. Because I imagine with Emmy's character, you have to be direct.
Yeah, pretty much. And even you could tell that Biggledoon is trying as well, and she's just just completely oblivious.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fun though. I'm having a lot of fun this is probably the most fun I've had as a DM, and I think it's because of everyone's motivations is unique and different, but still have a reason to be together. I'm hoping one of my fears as a failure of a DM is something happens and the party breaks up and then I can't bring them back together, right? Like there's stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
Like if you guys one of the things that were brought up with concern was like, hey, if someone fights a metallic dragon, like the Dragonborn, I'm not going to want to take place in that, right? Like, and that makes sense. Those are my ancestors. Like, I don't want to fight metallic dragons. Though in my universe are good aligned, right? you guys would have no reason to ever fight a metallic dragon unless you just wanted to kill it because it's a dragon.
Yeah.
And that's how Emiko would respond to that. It would be, up to her, of course. But that would make you evil. You killed a good aligned creature.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I understand what you mean, because back in the campaign I ran, there was a session that you missed, and Maury and James got into a fight, and one of them killed the other one, and we didn't know how to proceed. So we just retconned the whole, hour. It's like, let's just go back and not have this conversation.
And one killed the other.
Yeah.
Damn.
What really happened is it was Narith was the central cause.
Of course. Nuri's character was really good, but at the same time was horrible for a party dynamic.
Yes.
I love Ace. I really do. I think his brain is excellent. He makes a great player. I think Narith was a horrible decision. Not for him to play, but I mean just for him to exist inside of a party.
Yeah. It's definitely would be the central character in an evil campaign.
Yeah, and if we were running an evil campaign, it would be something different, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think he did anything wrong, right? He wanted to play that character, great. We made it work. But I will say, if there was a Narith type character in Monspaya, he would either be dead or in jail.
Yeah. I do think the big thing with Narith was Narith wasn't that way at the start.
No.
It was Stevor dying that pushed him over the edge.
And it makes sense as far as a character arc goes, too, right?
Yeah. So, I don't think he intentionally meant to play it that way, but like you said, he is a good player, and he took what happened in the game and is like, this is how my character would respond to it. It's sure, it makes things difficult for everyone else, and you hate to do that sometimes, but I mean, it's great role playing.
No, yeah, you're right. And even with his new character Silver, he's doing an excellent job of playing his character to what he has in mind, right? So yeah. Was this his first campaign too? The last one?
They had played in another campaign that only went 3 sessions, and then the DM quit on them.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So this was really their first true session then. I mean, then they're doing an excellent job, in my opinion, for role playing.
Yeah.
Especially now that they have more defined characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking of the Jewel of the Desert or the Monspaya campaign, you can also catch that on Sundays. We do that now Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern, or you can catch them usually I upload them the next day on YouTube. If you watch episode 2, though, half the episode doesn't have their audio because my audio capture for Discord stopped working. So that's a little awkward. But luckily, not too much happened. You miss some good RPing, though. Yeah, all you hear is me. I'm just like, oh god, this is horrible. So I'm gonna do a timestamp, just the start of the audio, so people can just skip to when the whole party is there. But it does suck that I missed that. I'll be more diligent in the future. But yeah, are you excited to climb before we wrap up on what we're doing this week?
Yeah.
I made the tower different. I will give you a heads up.
Good.
I'm
more excited to get to level 3, so I actually get my samurai stuff.
Yeah, and to do that, you need to climb the tower and get to level 2.
Get to level 2 or clear level 2?
Get to level 2. Level 1 is its own milestone.
Alright.
Which, as you've been hinted at, will be the Underdark. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and I made this huge, by the way. So my plan for this dungeon is not a room dungeon, like a normal dungeon campaign. It's almost like its own world that has different anchor points in different rooms. So you can stumble into an anchor point as early as 5 minutes. or it could be a session before you find the next level.
All right.
So
Sounds interesting.
yeah, I suppose the
We'll
last time
find out.
you remember the one shot the last time it was like, all right, here's 2 or 3 encounters. All right, sweet. Here's the next level.
Yeah.
It felt very much like a video game, right?
Go chase this guy down.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that you've chased him and decide whether or not you want to kill him or the other guy.
Pretty much. My storytelling is not great. I need to pull from other things. I'm definitely more of a, and I do that with my coding too, which is funny, right? I take 2 or 3 different people's codes and combine them into one, and my storytelling, sadly, is the same way. But awesome. So let's wrap this up. You can start. What are you looking forward to doing this week? What's on the docket for you?
I'm gonna try to do some Storybook Brawl climbing. Probably play some GTA, I'm sure. Other than that, I don't have any plans. We'll see if something else comes up.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same here. I'm gonna be starting probably on Yakuza 5, but I don't know. The tournament has really. I want to throw more time into just playing more, right? Getting better and just getting more reps under my belt. And probably even I don't know if you have interest in it, but I'm also in the Storybook Brawl competitive thing where they have like their queues where they'll join up. Probably gonna try to do a couple sessions when they have them.
Nice. Yeah, I have to actually climb, so I need to be in real ladder.
Yeah. But if you do make it, I do think it would be nice for both of us to start playing these lobbies, right? I think the more time you get into a lobby where, hey, you know these top 8 people, right? Like are competitive people. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this comment real quick. So I didn't feel a difference in difficulty between day 1 and top 8 this weekend, but the random queues at 4,000 MMR are significantly easier than both. And I can agree with that. I definitely felt like, well, I can't say that. Some of the queues at 4.2 are still like that. You make a mistake, it's over. But yep. So hopefully next week we'll have more to talk about it. Hopefully you'll also be at 4K. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good gaming this week and other things.